As ever, we'll go straight into the free bet information, and as you can see, you get a £50 free bet. Now this is actually broken into two parts. Your first bet is matched up to £25, and that will be placed in your account once that bet is settled. And your next 5 bets, what they'll do is they'll take the average of these and give you a free bet worth up to £25. So potentially you can get up to £50 worth of bets. If you want more information on this, just check out the text below. Now what's interesting about BoyleSports is that it seems as though they're in a bit of a transition era in terms of design. You can see in this bottom right hand corner, you can click the try out our new website. So they're obviously trialing it to start with and working through any faults that it may have in terms of design, but this is actually going to be the one that we're going to concentrate on for today. As you can see, it looks great. You know, the blues and the whites, everything looks really responsive, it looks welcoming, looks very modern as well. We quite like that. If anything, the font is a little on the small side. You know, we've tried this on smaller laptop screens and it's a little squash, but it's fine. You know, it works pretty well, and the 4-column design is definitely something that a lot of the bigger bookmakers use to good effect, and so hopefully these guys will do as well. Just quickly going back to promotions, we want to make it aware that once you've registered a new account, there's loads going on in terms of money back offers and promotions that BoyleSports run. You can see a few of them here on the left hand side, but we will put more information on that in the text below as well. Next thing we want to mention is the depth of sports and markets going on. You know, you can see down this left hand column, there's quite a few. It's a pretty good range of sports actually. Everything's there that should be there. All your major sports are on offer, you know, your football, your cricket, your tennis, your golf, things like that, and a few sort of, we like to call them niche sports, you know, your handball and things that you're probably not, majority of you aren't really going to bet on, but it's always good to have these sorts of things in. In terms of features, we think the site's lacking a little bit in going that extra yard. You know, they don't feel as though, it just doesn't feel like a site that you could probably use week in, week out in terms of being able to get all of your stats and information and basically make some really qualified bets. Having said that, they have included things like the football stats section, which is really in depth actually. It covers a lot of leagues from around the world. You can find out different fixtures and results, top scorers, you know, just basically a load of stats that will help you, but you know, these sort of things are pretty common on most of the big bookmakers anyway. So again, it's something that's been added, which is great. That's there, but it's not really a sort of standout feature. They do include the radio station as well. You know, this has been a big part of BoyleSports for a lot of years now. They do include the At the Races radio, so if you're a horse racing fan, you know, this is something that you can check out. There's a lot of football games covered, and obviously you can see your Greyhounds, things like that, the Soccer Saturday guys from Sky Sports as well. That's all available on there. The most expanding market is probably their in-play section, as we mentioned before. This is something that over the last 12, 18, maybe even 24 months or so, they've started to really push, and it's something that we like. They've made it pretty simple. They don't cover a massive range of sports. You know, compare this to a Bet365, and like they are miles behind really in terms of the number of markets. But there's a lot going on for the majority of bettors, and we think that, you know, if you're just the average Joe bettor, like a lot of you will be, there's going to be more than enough on BoyleSports to keep you going. One thing we'll say about the site is that it's a little lacking in depth. That's our only grudge. You know, they are fine for a bookmaker. They will give you the odds of pretty much any market that you want, but in terms of going the extra yard, in terms of live streaming, things like that, it's just lacking, and it probably separates them from being maybe as a top 10 bookmaker to being in the top 3 really.